What exactly is on my Amiga 500 Mini? That's right, it's not just the 25 bundled in games anymore, plus the secret bonus game. I've added additional ROMs onto there. All of the games I do own, and this video is not a how to add ROMs, but it is more of a demo and I guess a demo of the gameplay as to how the additional added games play outside of your bundled 25. I hope you guys can please add any more. Let me know in the comment section below if you think I've missed any, but you can see what games I own in the flesh, which all my Amiga games are stored upstairs, unfortunately. And I thought this would be a really fun video off the back of my review. Now, just as a recap, if you missed the review, it will be linked in the cards. And I'm going to recap now how you find the secret game that was bundled in by the makers of the A500 Mini. Let's roll that footage. So now down to the secret game. Take a peek on retrogames.biz website and go to the support section. You will be able to download a couple of files. You have a package, a load package that you will need to install on your USB, and then flicking back you'll see a bonus USB games pack which you download to wherever, and then you pop that in your USB as well. It should look something like this, and once in there you need to unzip the files and just pop the folders on your USB stick. When you put that back in the Amiga Mini, you'll see this menu. Thoroughly enjoying Citadel, and I think it's fantastic that you're able to get that straight from their website. It's super easy to do, and like I said in my review, you can do that on Mac and PC. So now let's dive in, and I'm going to show you what is in my Amiga 500 library. So this is the selection of Amiga games that I've loaded onto the A500 Mini. We're going to be demoing some with some facts, voiceover, and then you can hear the gameplay audio. Okay, so we know that Batman Returns had many different releases across many different platforms, but I think it really shines here on the A500 in terms of its sound and obviously its graphical and frame rate ability. You can see for yourselves, guys, the animations of the characters, both NPC and player, are pretty darn fast, and I think this would potentially open up a good opportunity to see if there are any frame rate drops, because this, everything's so fast, but it seems buttery smooth in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about the visuals and the sound in the comment section. Now, as I'm jogging back through my memories of growing up, I used to play the Amiga a lot at Matt and my other friend Damien and Gareth's house, and I know that out of one of those two, I played this either at Matt's or Damien's. I can't remember for the life of me which one. My memory is clearly fading, but I also know, again, like I played this on the Super Nintendo, and I think for me that's where it definitely shone. But I'm very impressed, and I'm so glad that I own this. I should really hook it up to my Amiga 600 as well. So yeah, we'll take a look at the next game. Now, right off the bat for me, I want to say that Castlevania on the Amiga really impressed me. I never played this as a little girl, and I purchased it many years ago, and I thought I'm gonna give this as a perfect opportunity to give it a test. I'm definitely familiar with the Castlevania series, but I had expectations because I am familiar. I loved it on the Super Nintendo, I played it a lot on the Game Boy Advance, and I recently played it again with the release of the Castlevania Collection on the PS4. And I will say that the Amiga port definitely didn't disappoint me, and playing it through the A500 again seems incredible. The sound, the gameplay is really fluid, and I was really impressed. And to be honest, I think it's definitely one of the stronger titles graphically and audibly that I've added thus far in. We do get down to some additional belters. Now, just a quick sidestep from Castlevania, the black border you see around the gameplay is exactly how it is on the A500 Mini. I would like to see future updates with some potential decal around the edges. Now, I tried 3D Snooker, I believe it is, but unfortunately it didn't work. I could probably tweak some settings, but I just wanted to demo it nonetheless. Now you can see on Bart vs the World that the black border, so the aspect ratio of the game, is slightly different. I haven't tweaked any of the internal menus. Again, I think that's going to be for another upcoming test, to play around with the different aspect ratios on the added games. Now, I've always been intrigued by a dystopian future, or the notion of, and cyberpunk. And Beneath a Steel Sky was probably my first entry into the cyberpunk world, so I have very fond memories of this point and click adventure. In fact, my friend Matthew and I, we used to enjoy the film Running Man, which is again in that kind of cyberpunk-esque premise, and I don't know why, but every time I play Beneath a Steel Sky, for some reason I get flashbacks to the movie The Running Man. Call me crazy, but that's just a weird memory of mine. Cool Spot is another classic video game that donned my childhood aplenty in the 90s, and again showcasing it here on the Amiga 500 Mini. It looks and sounds as perfect as I remember it back then. There was something to be said about the notion of branding, and I think one of the things that struck me so much on the Amiga were the amount of games that had the type of branding in, like Virgin Games and, you know, the 7-Up there, and just everything about it just takes me back to where gaming did start to become super mainstream with big brands. I wanted to try Double Dragon on my A500 Mini, and that's because I had pretty low expectations. I've never been a fan of the janky frame rates. And with this, you'll hear the native audio in a minute, it leaves a lot to be desired. So this is probably one that I'm going to be taking off the A500 Mini and freeing up a little bit of space for something I'm more likely to play. Heads up, Empire Strikes Back didn't work either. I'm going to utilise this game again, but with a USB keyboard in an upcoming episode. Just listen and look at how good that character select intro was. This performs really well on the A500, but as I'm editing, again you can see here the blue border around the aspect ratio of the actual game, and then the black border. I'm going to potentially look into some kind of fix for that, or certainly be keeping an eye out on future firmware updates, because again, I think we could just bolster out the aesthetics a little bit for the the parts of the screen that don't have any gameplay. But yeah, check this out, guys. I've said it before and I'm going to say it to you right now in case you're new to the channel. Huge fan of the Lotus Turbo Challenge series, loads of memories. In fact, Matt had an older brother called John, and I remember him playing, I think it was Lotus Turbo Challenge 3, and we were about to go on holiday. It was just a crappy little holiday to Skegness, and my dad kept ringing Matt's house saying, "Where's Gemma? Where's Gemma?" And I was stuck in, well, I wasn't stuck, but I was in John's room, couldn't get off Lotus Turbo Challenge 3. It would be rude not to have Mortal Kombat on your A500 Mini. I will say that the latency did feel a little bit skew-if, a little bit delayed as I was playing with the control pad, so just be mindful of that if you do download this. I perhaps should have also put this on easy because right now this happens.
Fatality.
The real Ghostbusters. In fact, there's quite a few of Ghostbusters games on the A500. If you were eagle-eyed, you would have spotted the other one that I have in the menus as I glided through the games at the beginning of this episode. Now, this made me laugh. Look how fast his legs are moving in this. But it is a really fun game, and if you've not played this, you definitely need to get yourself a copy. It's absolutely brilliant.
Serve the public trust. Protect the innocent. Uphold the law.
Now, if you're a huge fan of the Contra games, or Super Pro Protector, as it's known over here in Europe, you will love Robocop. I played this again with Matt back in the day, and I absolutely knew when my Amiga Mini came through the post that this was going to be added to the USB stick. Now, some of you have actually commented online when one of the ADF files going to be able to load on. That is coming as well, apparently in a future update. So keep an eye on the official Twitter page for the Amiga 500 Mini, and I dare say they'll be tweeting out when you'll be able to get games on which have a disk swap functionality. Road Rash for the win. Great game, and I dare say that now we're in 2022, I would definitely like a PS5 or a PS4 version of Road Rash, because, I mean, just look at this. It looks fantastic, and although I used to think, am I actually in the right gear? Because I'm feeling like I'm going pretty darn slow. There's no denying that despite its flaws, Road Rash is a banger of a title, and I think a lot of us are familiar with Road Rash and the fun that we all had back in the day. Hence why it's on my lovely A500 Mini. What a classic franchise this Smash TV grew to become. I mean, even as recent as 2020, we had Xenocrisis by Bitmap Bureau, clearly a game that was heavily influenced by Smash TV and later Super Smash TV. I can confirm to you that it plays absolutely deliciously. Fluid, sounds great, flawless in fact, and definitely up there in one of my favourite titles on the mini console thus far. Mini console? Mini home computer, Gemma. I'm so used to saying console. The Amiga is not a console, it is a home computer. Do forgive me. But yeah, this is a banger of a title. And again, if you're not getting the A500 Mini, you can enjoy it across many consoles, the NES, Super NES, or if you want to try Xeno Crisis, you've got that option as well. Now, back in the day, I always thought that the Shadow of the Beast games were a little bit ahead of its time, and I didn't know back then what parallax scrolling was. You can see the fore, mid and background all move at different speeds, thus giving the illusion of, just a moving world travelling at speed. So that's what always fascinated me about Shadow of the Beast, and I'd actually forgotten how good this game was, albeit I'm very crap at it. I always found it up there to be as difficult as Ghouls and Ghosts or Ghouls and Goblins, but yeah, Shadow of the Beast, it's a prominent Amiga title. Now, I know Street Fighter 2 has a lot of discs, and I wanted to just show you that you could not get past this screen. Nothing I tried was able to kind of get past this screen. It'd flick to the top scores and then it'd flick back again. So maybe that's down to something with the ADF file or their lack of ability to be able to change the discs yet on the Mini. We'll see if in future updates. We had Mario on Nintendo consoles, we had Sonic on the Sega consoles, and we have Super Frog on the Amiga home computer. This is a wonderful side-scrolling platform adventure game in which you play this really cute frog, and it's quite difficult. You need to have quite, I'd say very quick actually, not quite quick, but very quick reaction times and be able to anticipate where this bouncy, glorious, happy little frog is going to land, because you never flippin' know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a notoriously difficult video game to master, and the Amiga 500 Mini is no different. This was just as awkward, just as janky, but what I did like about this version, what I've always liked about the Amiga version, are the colour palettes tended to be a little bit richer than what they were on the NES. I played the heck, and I mean I played the heck out of this game with my cousin back in the day, and needless to say, I think I've only ever gotten to level 3, well I did back then nonetheless, but I actually do enjoy this. It's one of those guilty pleasure video games, and I know Angry Video Game Nerd bashed the hell out of this title. Angry Video Game Nerd is not a god. We're allowed our own opinions, and I actually quite like it, but let me know what you think in the comment section and tell me, will you be adding it to your A500 library? The T2 arcade game is a classic, and on the A500 Mini you just used the mouse and it was incredible. There was minimal input latency, and I can't give you a scientific what that means because I'm not Digital Foundry. I can just tell you that it felt pretty darn responsive. Sounded great, looks great. I died a little bit, but I was trying to film footage with my iPhone as well, so that's my excuse here, don't judge me. Again, played this a lot back in the arcades, and it's one that I tend to gravitate to if I go to a convention and I see it. It's pretty awesome all round, and I've got a massive soft spot for the films, guys. Another cultural classic, Wonder Boy. This is definitely not my favourite by any stretch of the imagination, but I always remember feeling the resemblance to Alex Kidd, and as a huge Alex Kidd fan, maybe I just gravitated towards this and didn't actually realise. And it's not now until I look back at it and I think, wow, I do remember that feeling I got back then, and the just how much I did enjoy it. Maybe not so much now because it's not aged that well. It's a little bit janky in terms of its frame rate. Again, it plays lovely on the A500 Mini, and I just thought I'd show it to you guys today. Oddly, we've just had WrestleMania in real life, but it's on my A500. Now, this again wasn't very responsive playing with the gamepad. I know obviously you play with the joystick, it's probably going to be much better. So I might have to purchase a joystick and give that a go. What do you think? What can you add, more importantly? I'm eager to see what you can add. I'm going to be watching this video back, not for the video contents, but for your comments. So please add any. And if I own them, I can add them. If not, maybe I'll just buy them for my Amiga 600. I have a GoTech drive in it at the moment, and I'm contemplating getting an Amiga 1200 as well. But once the Lady Loft is finished, I'll know what kind of space I have left. Hopefully for a nice Amiga 1200 setup to be placed in there. So if you can help me out in any way, shape or form, that would be massively appreciated. But if you've enjoyed this video and you want more Amiga content, please subscribe, leave a like rating because it really helps my channel grow. And hopefully we will definitely get more Amiga content out. So that's what's on my A500 Mini. I'll take my leave now. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one. I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.